Hey everyone, what's up? We have that chance for an ice storm later this weekend into early next week, so I thought I'd take a second and give you a little update. If you want to see how we came to the forecast, how we put it together, like behind the scenes kind of things, I thought I'd take a second and share it with you. I find this stuff fascinating, so here's how we got the forecast. Let's take you over here to our forecasting computer, tabs galore. And what we're going to look at are three different computer models. Now, the first one that we see, this is a shorter range one. It's one of the higher resolution ones. It's a great one to check out, but it just finally tonight got within range of seeing the beginnings of what could happen starting Sunday and lasting through Sunday night and into Monday. Okay, so here we are. You see this right here. This is at about 18,000 feet. This is an upper level low pressure system, and this is lower, closer to the ground. This one's about 1.5 miles or so. This is ground level, and then this is the precipitation that it puts out. So what we can do is we can go forward in time, watch how this thing, which is a long way away. This thing's way out off the coast of, or not way out, but it's out by the coast of Washington State and Oregon. So a lot can change. So keep all that in mind. But watch how this upper low tracks. It goes south and actually gains strength, and then it starts to move eastward. And this will arrive starting by, it says 12Z Sunday, which is 6 a.m. Sunday. And you can start to see down here, that's getting close to arrival here in southeastern parts of Nebraska. So Sunday morning ought to be about start time. But again, this one's just getting close to it. Now, here's another one. This one's a little bit longer range. It's what we call the GFS model. And this is starting by our Saturday evening, and watch what happens as we go forward in time. You'll see the upper level low swing through, and look at this. Thing's got plenty of moisture to work with. In fact, let's rewind it, take this back. This is the same system that's just dumping tons of moisture, feet of rain, and 15 plus feet of snow in the higher elevations in California. This thing's very, very strong, a lot of moisture to work with, and it's going to move in later on this weekend and into early next week. So there's Saturday, and now we're getting into Sunday, and this will take us on into Monday as well. So you can see the path that it looks to take at this point anyway. Brings it right through our area. Okay, so here's another look at it. This is starting Saturday night, and this one actually outlays, are we looking at rain? Are we looking at ice? Are we looking at snow? You can see the scale over here, the legend, and watch what happens. And this is really underway pretty good. That's by noon on Sunday. And we'll continue to go forward. That looks like ice. Could mix in some rain at times. Look at that. Snow out to our west. This is midnight Sunday, by the way. And that brings rain for us for Monday morning. Some ice, freezing rain, sleet back behind it, and then snow to finish it off. This is the GFS. So that's a pretty prolonged period where we're in and out of ice and then maybe throw some snow on top of it. Okay. Now let's go and see the European model. Now, that while this is called the European model, it's a global model. It goes anywhere that you want to check out and is very good at forecasting, not just in Europe, but in the United States as well. So let's take this one back. This is by Sunday morning, and it too brings ice. There we are into the afternoon, a little bit further south with the track. There's Monday morning, really hammering us good with some ice. And then still in and out of ice, maybe some rain, maybe some snow at times on Monday. Monday's a little bit more of a wild card. And then it exits by the time we get into Tuesday. Point is, both of them are in really pretty good agreement, especially for this far out. I mean, this thing's 5 days away. So let's look at some output. This is potential ice by the first one, the GFS model. And that's a lot of ice. I mean, 1/2 inch to 1 inch or more in a lot of spots. And then this is the other one. Very similar path with the European model, and it puts out over 1 inch of ice in some locations. Now, these numbers really temperature profiles will have a whole lot to say with how much of this falls as ice, freezing rain or sleet, or snow or rain. Just a small adjustment here, and if this falls as rain, if we're at 33 degrees at the surface, then we're not looking at near the problem. But at this point, I think it's safe to at least prepare for what could be a potentially messy situation late into the weekend and early next week. Now let's look at a little bit of snow. Okay, so how much snow we're going to see. Again, we could throw some snow on top of it after the ice moves out. Looks like the heaviest band where it's going to consistently fall of snow. Less ice here, more snow in central, southwestern, and northeastern Nebraska. And we could throw a little bit of snow on top of it as it departs. Now, it doesn't look like a big snowmaker at this point, given the current temperature profiles. Looks like more ice. And but we could throw, an inch, 2, 3 inches, something like that on top of it. Still too far out to know much in the way of snow accumulation, so don't take these numbers to the bank just yet. Again, this is kind of an early behind-the-scenes look. And then it's in good consistency, a lot of agreement as we look at the European. It also says somewhere around 1, 2, 3 southeastern Nebraska. More ice here, more snow in southwestern, south central, northeastern parts of the state. Now, this is something called the ensemble mean, and what this is 51 different runs of this computer model and then averages them out. This has a bunch of little tweaks in it. It's a great thing to check out for long-range forecasting, and it also has heaviest in central and southwestern and lighter in southeastern. But notice this one's not as strong, so that's something that we need to pay attention to. And here is the GFS ensemble mean, and this is the type of precipitation. And notice how it's got ice. This is by Sunday evening. I know you can't see the time, but then it transitions us more to rain for Monday, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. If this were to verify, then our ice accumulations would be down, especially on Monday. But they all hint at some ice, possibly some snow, and we could have rain at times as well. So it's kind of a messy situation. Impacts with this, if this does pan out to be an ice storm, of course, would be slick roads, that's obvious. We could have power outages as well anytime that you throw ice and maybe some wind, which Monday does look windy, and we could have some power outages to deal with. So point with all of this is early. This thing's a long way from home. There's a lot that can and likely will change. The track of these things can change by the order of states this far out. That may happen. And temperatures. If we go up a few degrees in the forecast, we're going to look at more rain, less ice. This thing could not end up being as big of a deal. But at this point, this is what we see. This is why we have the forecast being potentially messy and wintry, and a winter storm possible late next week, or late in the weekend and early next week. So we'll keep you updated.